Hello and welcome to another trailer review of New Catholic Generation. I will be your host, Ned Barry from Parables of Film Industry. This is Marc, the silent introvert. And this is Tristan, the Catholic for Christ. And Joe. I'm not saying your channel's name because I don't want to.
Fine, be like that. I don't care.
I will. That's how I feel about it.
Fine, you don't love me. I knew it all along.
He's the Catholic apologist.
Okay, I was afraid you didn't know.
No, that's actually the I remember sometimes.
When do you want to?
When I want to.
Oh, I see how it is. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Fine, let's just get on with this trailer.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're here to review the trailer for Paul, Apostle of Christ. And I haven't really heard a lot about this movie. The last time I heard anything about this Paul movie, I heard that originally Hugh Jackman was supposed to play Paul. But I guess that didn't happen, which actually saddens me because I really wanted Wolverine to be Paul.
That's right. I remember hearing about that too. Yeah. So
I hadn't heard anything about this movie, and I'm usually very caught up on my movie knowledge and movie news, and this just came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah, so I did hear about this movie, but I just didn't it kind of went under the radar after Logan came out. And I heard that this has been a pet project for quite a few years, and people have been trying to make it or something like that. But, yeah. But anyway, let's see how this shindig goes.
I, Luke, send a message to all those that follow our Lord Jesus Christ. There is a terrible evil in the world. Darkness is spreading.
Oh no, darkness is spreading.
I know you are suffering persecution. Faith is being tested. I know you question the way. But I've come to Rome to find Paul, to write his story, to bring hope, to bring light into this present darkness, and to remind us all how God changed the hateful man who will change the history of the world.
Luke, am I dreaming?
Prison and oh no, not
blood of our brothers and sisters.
This is what trusting God gets you.
People are desperate. We're the only light left in the city.
I cannot fix their faith.
You can inspire their faith.
You risk people looking to me before Christ.
The day I heard you preach, my God, I saw Christ in you.
There are many,
I see Christ in you because, well, the passion.
Do you really know about these Christians? I am concerned with these documents. We've got to get these out of Rome. Do you think that we are plotting an escape? Write another word and I send you to whatever God you want. Look!
They've gathered men to overthrow Rome.
To what end?
Justice.
They want revenge.
No! Why not? Love is the only way. When the moment comes, you will have the strength to do what is right.
Your people die today. This world doesn't know a thing about love.
Where sin abounds, grace abounds more.
Well, it certainly seems pretty dang epic.
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure how I feel about it. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of lacking in the story. I mean, Paul doesn't even seem like the main character of his own film.
It seemed like Luke was kind of
the
emphasis. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, it didn't seem like it showed a lot of Paul's conversion. I didn't really notice anything at first, him persecuting Christians,
Yeah, I was honestly a little bit surprised about that. That didn't show a little bit the beginning aspects of Paul's story, and then it goes on. But it literally shows the after effects.
Yeah, granted, it is called Paul, Apostle of Christ, so it is going to be about his apostolate. But yeah,
I wonder if they are trying to take this and do something different with it. So you know how in Captain America Civil War, they brought in Spider-Man, and we didn't need to see his backstory because we already had heard it a bunch of times. I wonder if they're doing something similar here where they're not showing the whole, oh, Paul fell off a horse, because that's what everybody knows. Instead, they're going off of the parts that people don't know, and they're creating a story around different parts of, oh, a reason for Paul to come up with this thing that he came up with in this letter, and so on and so forth. I wonder if that's what they're doing. One of the things I have to say that I wasn't a huge fan of was, like, Paul, like, in all the shots seems really, really old. And, like, I mean, that would make sense towards the very end.
Yeah.
But a little bit earlier on, like Luke seems like so much younger than him, and Paul, like seems super old. It's like, I mean, maybe it's going to be, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to take this plot, but I was kind of disappointed in that.
Yeah.
And my response to your Spider-Man comparison is, by the time we got Civil War, we had already had 2 different incarnations of that, of the Spider-Man origin story, and we haven't had
a Paul movie.
Well,
to this degree.
Yeah.
Right. To this degree, obviously, we haven't had a big movie. At the same time, the story of Spider-Man has only been around for a couple of decades, where the story of Paul has been around for centuries.
Yeah. And the audience that this is going to appeal to probably knows like how Paul's life was before.
So, like, I mean, I could see it being reasonable that they're trying to do the same sort of thing. I'm not saying whether I would like it or not, but I'm saying that that's definitely some way they could be going with it.
That's true. I do kind of see like it was a very well made trailer, and there's certain aspects which kind of like intrigue me, but it seems like a very, like, at least to me, kind of coming off of you, like a very like very shallow well made trailer, like, because I'm just like, looks like a really great production, and I'm sure there's some really great aspects of the film when it finally does come out, but the trailer itself was just like not enough to like fully grab my attention. Like, if it was to like come up, you know how like sometimes like movie trailers like come up as an ad, you know, and you can either skip it or just watch it, I would probably have skipped it.
Like you said, the cinematography looks good, the soundtrack sounds all right, but just like it doesn't give me passion type, you know, like that intensity,
right?
And they're coming out with you know, the Resurrection in the near future, and that's gonna have Jim Caviezel reprising his role as Jesus, and like it just didn't seem like that level, you know, of intensity or you know, of tone, I guess. It just seemed very much like it was made by the people who made Risen, which they did try to make that more intense, but
Risen was a good movie.
I liked Risen.
I liked it, but towards the end it kind of tapered off, you know. I feel like it's just going to be kind of the same. I don't feel like if I was someone who wasn't really into Christian movies, this would bring me to go see it. Yeah.
It definitely has a target audience, like you guys were saying. I feel like in order for this movie to do better than that, it needs to get people who don't know the story well.
That's fair.
Yeah. It's just such a shame that it's coming out in March, which is literally next month. Because I mean, obviously this is the first trailer I've seen of the movie, and I don't know if there are any other trailers for this movie, but it seems like it's a movie that needs another trailer.
We're probably not going to get it.
I mean, we're probably not going to get one. That's
the
the
advertisement
thing.
must be terrible.
Also, if they do end up having the scene where Paul falls off the horse and there's the voice of God, if they have Jim Caviezel do the voice on it,
that would be really
Okay, I would laugh. That'd be fantastic.
Well, no, it's not in the same cinematic universe as The Passion, because Jim Caviezel's Christ is the Passion.
This is an alternate universe where Jim Caviezel is actually Luke.
Yeah.
That's going to throw me off so much. He's going to have to do a really good job acting in this, because I really love Jim Caviezel. But actually, and like I've seen him in, I don't remember the name of it, but it was the football one he was in. He was the coach of it.
When the Game Stands Tall.
When the Game Stands Tall. I saw him in that. It was really good.
Of course, it was a football movie.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Football Catholic
why not?
movie. Yes.
You know, but like that was 21st century. This is back in the time of Christ. Like, it's going to be tough to not see him as Jesus. It's going to be really
Half
tough.
the movie, I'm going to be like, what? Why? Oh, that's right. He's Luke.
Yeah. I mean, his performance as Jesus was fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, he nailed it.
Yeah. So I'm really hoping that he still is able to put in that same amount of charisma and passion into this performance of Luke. what did you guys think of Faulkner? Because honestly, the way I saw his performance was almost like it almost like seemed like he was just simply just being like his performance, like his look, basically like old and dry.
Yeah, I kind of agree because like it was said before, it feels like that Paul wasn't even the main subject of the movie. Like it was a lot heavily based around Luke, and that might even be just for marketing purposes. Like, hey, look, we have the actor who played Jesus in this movie. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like Paul just seemed kind of like decrepit and kind of like I'm wise, but I don't have much.
Well, actually, so fun fact, I looked into Faulkner's IMDb, and it's very interesting. He was actually in Game of Thrones. Oh. So it's very interesting that he's not in the forefront of like the advertising, unlike Jim Caviezel for this Christian film.
Yeah.
So I found that very funny in a manner of speaking.
See, I find it, pun intended, a two-edged sword. Because on one hand, when you read Paul, he's very theological and it's a lot to swallow. It's oftentimes very difficult to swallow. Studying Paul is extremely difficult to do. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, like if you're just reading it, it's just like, yeah, like you can kind of relate to what you read in the scriptures to what you're kind of seeing in this character, at least from what the trailer is portraying. On the other edge of that sword, I would also say it would have been really, really great to be able to see like, okay, yeah, when you write everything out, it seems kind of dry, but actually showing Paul be enthusiastic about this and showing that even though the writing is this way, like even though he's a very theological person, there's so much beauty, there's so much to learn.
Like his charisma about
to really see how he loves it, not just to kind of see the way you can oftentimes see the writing. Mm-hmm. So at the same time, I would have loved that. So it's kind of like, I don't know. That's why this trailer, I think, is kind of like a little bit underwhelming. I'm just like not sure what to look forward to, but I hope it's good. Yeah, it can be good.
I was going to say, I enjoyed the fact that this is a passion project for some of the people who are involved. Mm-hmm. They claim to have done their research and claim to have done all the necessary steps into making sure that this is as close to scripture as possible. And maybe we'll just have to watch the movie, but I'm not really seeing it.
Yeah, so just to clarify, we're not judging the movie, guys, okay? We haven't seen the darn thing yet.
It's a trailer reaction.
Yes, it's a trailer reaction.
It's not clickbait. We actually watched the trailer and react to it. So.
Exactly. So, and I know like quite a few of you have said, you haven't even seen the movie yet, you're already bashing it. Yeah, but anyway.
Okay, you did that thing with your tongue.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Dear NGG, I don't believe that you actually have seen this movie yet. I don't even know why you're judging it because you haven't seen the quality of these beautiful films.
But anyway.
Commentate.
Well, not commentate. You commentate.
Stop, Precious.
But anyway, so we're simply just judging the trailer and whether or not we're actually interested in the darn thing.
Which is the point of a trailer.
Exactly. That's the point of a trailer. That's the point of trailer reactions. So I'll just go ahead and start. Joe, are you interested in seeing it?
I would say that the only reason I would go and see it is either because my friends are going or Jim Caviezel.
Jim Caviezel's a good enough reason, honestly.
Yeah.
What about you, Tristan?
Yeah. I would probably go see it just for Jim Caviezel, just to kind of, see how he portrays a follower of Christ as opposed to Christ himself. And because Paul, I love Pauline spirituality. Like, he was big on athletic analogies, and theology and sports and athletics and stuff, which I love. So I want to see if they put that in there, the whole shadow boxing thing and run so as to win and stuff.
That'd be fantastic.
Also, Jim Caviezel, if you watch this, please contact us. We love you.
I know.
Seriously.
That'd be great. So yes, I would
just a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
As it turns out, he actually winds up commenting, "Hey, this is really cool, guys," and then we'll all just cry and die.
My jaw at that moment.
Oh my gosh! So, what do you think, Mark? Would you want to go see it if you weren't going to go and review it?
I'm being honest, probably not.
Yeah.
Would you wait till it's like released on like Netflix or like Redbox or something?
If I had nothing, like if I was really bored, then probably.
Okay, that's fair.
But it didn't grab my attention enough to like warrant like me being like, yes, I really want to go see this movie. But then again, a lot of Christian films, their trailers, they don't do it for me.
I think the closest I ever got to like, dang, I really want to go see this Christian film was with Samson, oddly enough. It's simply just because I'm just like, dang, this is a hardcore Pureflix film.
I think the closest movie that got me to want to is Heaven is Real, and I still haven't seen that movie. I started crying during that trailer.
That's understandable. I'm kind of like on board with like some of you. Like if I just saw the trailer on its own, like, and I wasn't like part of the Catholic generation or anything, I probably would have just disregarded it. And who knows? It might actually be a good movie. And I certainly hope for the sake of the content and for Christian media and that it is a good film. And something that I have a really nice soft spot for biblical epics. I love biblical epics. And even though this is not necessarily I would probably consider a biblical epic, it is very close to one because I love films that have to deal with like the history of the Bible or like certain stories that are within the Bible and all that kind of stuff. So in that regard, I am interested in it. But as far as most biblical epics go, I'm very much just like, you're like the first one I've seen that I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
And the bar is set pretty high because of previous movies that we've seen or just movies, biblical epic movies in general.
Yeah.
So you should, we're going to give the movie a chance.
Of course.
The bar is set pretty high.
Yeah. Of course. All right. Well, this has been a New Catholic Generation. And, we'll see you guys at the movie review. God bless, guys.
Bye.